Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to uncover a massive, hidden blind spot in our supply chains. Look, if you're in logistics, you already know the name of the game. Keep things moving. But today we're looking at the exact spot where that momentum hits a frustrating brick wall. And more importantly, we're going to explore how bridging two absolutely crucial systems changes the whole shebang.
So, I want to start off by asking a pretty fascinating question about a silent cost. The kind that never actually shows up on a customer invoice. Where exactly does a company lose an hour? It's like a giant puzzle that constantly plagues modern logistics. You can audit your books all day long, but you're not going to find a neat little line item for this specific lost time.
Well, the answer isn't sitting in the back office, and it isn't deep within the warehouse aisles either. It's actually right outside, at the gate, by the dock, or just sitting right beside a row of waiting trailers. It's that incredibly frustrating moment where one team says, "Hey, goods are packed and ready," and another team says, "Truck's finally arrived," and yet, nothing moves. The clock just ticks. No way around it. It's maddening.
Section 1. Inside versus outside. To understand why this gridlock happens, we've got to look at the two distinct territories of literally any logistics site. Inside the building, we have the WMS, the Warehouse Management System. It's the master of the inside, right? Relying on scanners, labels, and stock rules to manage goods, shelves, pallets, and orders. Meanwhile, out in the yard, we have the YMS, the Yard Management System. It completely rules the outside, using self-service screens, digital signs, and cameras to manage trucks, trailers, gates, and docks. Basically, a WMS follows products inside, while a YMS follows vehicles outside. Pretty straightforward. What's really wild is just the sheer volume of logic happening indoors. Inside that building, warehouse operations are this quiet but intense art form of keeping promises with space, people, and timing. The WMS is your central brain here. It's constantly answering these crucial rapid-fire questions just to maintain speed. Things like, what arrived? Where should it go? Is it available? Who needs it next? Can it leave today? Without these constant answers, warehouse efficiency simply evaporates. Literally every single box and scan matters. Now let's step outside and see how this builds into a cohesive process. Out in the yard, a YMS takes what could be an absolute traffic jam and smooths it into a simple, ordinary step-by-step flow. Check it out. A carrier books a time, the driver arrives, the gate confirms the visit, they're sent to a waiting area, a dock is assigned, loading or unloading happens, and boom, the vehicle leaves. Good yard management makes all of this feel completely routine, and honestly, that's the whole point, taking the chaos right out of the equation.
Section 2. The danger of the gap.
So the exact physical border between these two distinct worlds? That's the dock. It's the ultimate handover point, connecting the plant with the physical world. But when that handover is weak, things break down fast. People start searching, guessing, and asking these huge warning sign questions over and over. Where's the driver? Wait, which trailer is next? Why on earth is that dock empty when we have a full crew standing by? You start seeing constant manual communication. You know the drill. Frantic radio calls, paper notes, hastily updated spreadsheets. And it leads to horribly inefficient resource allocation, where people wait and vehicles just sit there idling. This is exactly how the site loses time in small, invisible pieces that quickly add up to hours. Imagine a super busy retail warehouse right before a major promotion. Inside, the WMS shows that the goods are perfectly packed, the store's deadline is rapidly approaching, and the warehouse team is literally giving each other high fives. They did their job perfectly. But outside in the yard, the reality is entirely different. The trailer is technically on site, sure, but it's parked in the totally wrong row. Because the systems aren't communicating, nobody inside knows the truck is lost outside. It creates this massive, hidden delay literally right outside the door. Just a total disconnect.
Section 3. Bridging the divide.
So, how do we actually fix this disconnect? Well, we bridge the divide by making these two powerful systems talk to each other, so the folks on the ground don't have to manually compensate for the gap. When you integrate them, it's a real game changer, like someone finally flipped the lights on. The WMS tracks stock accuracy, picking speed, order timing, and shipping progress. At the exact same time, the YMS tracks waiting times, arrival patterns, dock use, and gate delays. When you bring the data management from both systems together, they reveal exactly where the day actually slows down. You're no longer just looking at one isolated slice of the picture.
And let me tell you, the benefits of this end-to-end logistics flow are just undeniable. By sharing information, we get significantly reduced truck waiting times, completely closing that gap between arrived and ready to act. We get way better dock utilization,
because teams are using each small space with a real purpose. Operational visibility doesn't just vanish at the fence line anymore. This means faster loading and unloading because teams prepare earlier, space clears out, and documents are ready to go. Ultimately, this all leads to dramatically reduced operational costs. We're cutting out waiting charges and all that unnecessary overtime. Dock door management becomes way less reactive, and these steady benefits start to bring a calm order to literally every gate and dock.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material because it hits the nail right on the head when it comes to integrating your yard and warehouse workflows. Integration does not make a busy site quiet, it makes it understandable, right? It's not about stopping the hustle, the movement, or the sheer scale of your operations. It's about removing the confusion so that all that busy energy is actually moving you forward.
Section 4. Do you need both?
This brings us to a very practical business question. Does every single logistics site actually need both systems? If you're running a smaller operation, you might be wondering, hey, do I really need to invest in a dedicated YMS? And honestly, a WMS alone might be just fine for a simple site where vehicle traffic is low and arrivals are super predictable. But for the operations we're looking at here, the outside area actually shapes the entire day. Think about high-volume distribution centers where tons of vehicles share the same docks, or manufacturing facilities where, if materials wait outside, the whole assembly line slows to a crawl. What about retail and e-commerce warehouses dealing with massive promotional peaks and daily cutoffs? And of course, third-party logistics providers, 3PLs, serving multiple customers at once who need clean stock control inside and bulletproof vehicle flow outside. For these high-pressure environments, memory and spreadsheets, they become really weak tools. A dedicated YMS becomes absolutely crucial.
As this text beautifully sums it up, replacing one with the other rarely works well. YMS versus WMS is not a contest, it's a map. The warehouse needs accuracy, the yard needs visibility. And the dock? The dock needs both. Trying to force a WMS to manage a complex yard, or vice versa, just creates blind spots, because they're built to manage entirely different types of assets. They've got to operate together to replace manual luck with measurable, reliable control across the entire site.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to examine in your own operations. Where does your work lose control? Is your facility bleeding an hour every day at the gate, or maybe by the dock? Think about your own workflows. Take a hard look at where the bottlenecks really live, and ask yourself if it's time to finally bridge that divide. Thanks for learning with me today, and hey, I hope this helps you build a much smoother arrival to departure experience in your own supply chain.